Today, Sarah will talk Anu Modana Dhamma. Anu is Akananga, Modana is being glad. So, to be glad, Akananga. The Dhamma, to be glad, Akananga. Dhamma will give based on Adarakita Sutta. Adarakita Sutta is to keep body, speech and mind to be proper, to do dana sila bhavana properly. We'll give a talk. So, who gave this talk is Buddha. We will pay respect to Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times.
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Sarah recited stanza from that sutta in the Sanyutta Nikaya, Kayena Samvaro Satu. Controlling with the mind is good. Avoiding not to do evil things with the body is good. Vachaya Sadhu Vachaya Samvaro, controlling in the speech is good. It means avoiding evil things by speech is good. Manasa Samvaro Sadhu, Manasa Samvaro Sadhu, refraining evil things, refraining from evil things produced by mind is good. Refraining evil things in everything, body, speech, and mind is good. So, if someone refraining from evil things in all situations, it is called Liji. Liji means who has shameness to do evil things. So, if someone is Liji, who are ashamed to do evil things, it is called Adarakita, protecting own self.
Adda Rakita Mimi Gogo Magone Be Leva go Mayasi on sounds out that Bogo Adda Rakita Bogo Pia Mimi Gogo sounds out that Bogo Pia Dini sounds out that on Joba me no.
So not to be reborn in a woeful state, protecting own self is Adda Rakita. So today, Sarah will give a talk, the way to protect own self. So Sarah use to do sasana, kusala, doing for the sasana. So usually many Buddhists in Myanmar say this word. So to do sasana, to perform sasana is to keep admonishment for the body, in the body, in the speech, and the mind. So it is doing sasana or maintaining sasana in the body, the speech, and the mind. Doing sasana means what is sasana? Admonishment. Sarah recited one stanza, Sabababasa Akarana, not doing all evil things. It is one admonishment. So if someone not do all evil things, it is doing sasana, having admonishment of the Buddha. Kusala Saupasambuddha, being completed with wholesomeness. Next one is Sajita Priyodapana, keeping in the mind to be pure. It is admonishment of the Buddha. If someone follow these things, he is doing sasana, performing sasana of the Buddha. So, not to do all evil means, Sarah mentioned Kaya Dujarita 3, bodily misconduct 3, like not killing, not stealing, not doing sexual misconduct. It is a bodily evil deed. So it is not to do. It is the Buddha's admonishment. If someone follow that, it is doing or performing sasana admonishment of the Buddha. Among 5 precepts, first 3 are called bodily misconduct. So if someone practices 5 precepts, it is keeping the body properly according to admonishment of the Buddha. So it is a Panatipada, Adena Dana, and Kamesumechachara. According to Eightfold Noble Path, it is called Sammakamanda, right action. Next one is to keep speech properly. It is not to telling lie, not to use harsh speech, divisive speech, slander speech. Among 5 precepts, just saying Musawada Varamani Sekabran Samadhiyami. So it is admonishment to keep speech properly. So according to Eightfold Noble Path, it is called Sammavaca, right speech. So 5 precept is to conduct bodily and verbal action to be proper. So Panatipada Adena Dana Kamesumechasara is related to body. Musawada is related to speech. If someone practice 5 precepts, it is keeping body and speech properly. How about the Surameraya? Surameraya is not to use any intoxicants, any alcohol. Surameraya is the cause of bodily, verbal, and mental action not to be proper. Because of the cause of evil deeds, by action and speech and the mind, have to avoid that. So, practicing morality is to keep body and speech to be proper. So, by practicing 5 precepts, it is keeping the body and speech to be proper. According to Eightfold Noble Path, it is called Sammakamanda, right action, Sammavaca, right speech. So now we need to say Samma Ajiva, right livelihood. So to be right livelihood, need to avoid 5 kinds of trading. 5 kinds of trading is not to trade alcohol, not to trade human beings, weapons, poisons, animals for the meat. So if someone avoid these trading, if someone doesn't do bodily and verbal evil things, it is called right livelihood. It is Buddha's admonishment. It is a very basic, related to morality. So it is to practice. To control body and speech to be proper, need to practice morality. By practicing morality, we can be good about the bodily and verbal action. So Sayadaw said it is making beauty, body and speech. If you want to be beautiful in the body and in the speech, you should practice morality. So Sayadaw use it is making beauty. To be good, bodily action and verbal action, need to practice morality. By practicing morality, we can be good about the bodily and verbal action. So, important one is the mind. So the mind can be good, can be bad. So how to control the mind? How to practice the mind to be good? By practicing samadhi, concentration, panya, wisdom, we can be good in mind. So by practicing samadhi, concentration, panya, wisdom, so we can be good about the mental action to be good. So according to Eightfold Noble Path, it is called Samma Sati, right mindfulness, Samma Samadhi, right concentration, Samma Vayama, right effort. Sila is similar to three mekka, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva. So samadhi, according to so two categories. One is sila, samadhi, panya. The other is Eightfold Noble Path. So sila is similar to three mega factors. It is Samma Vacha, Samma Ajiva, Samma Kammanta. Samadhi is similar to three factors. It is Samma Sati, right mindfulness, Samma Samadhi, right concentration, Samma Vayama, right effort. Panya is the same as two factors, Samma Ditti, right view, Samma Sankappa, right thoughts. So Buddha Sasana is three kinds. One is sila, one is samadhi, one is panya. If someone practicing in sila, samadhi, panya, it is doing in sasana, performing in sasana. If someone practicing Eightfold Noble Path, it is doing in sasana or performing in sasana. Sarah, going back previous stanza, not to do evil things. So not doing evil things. Next one is kusala upasampada, being completed with wholesomeness. If someone do these two things, the mind will be pure. Today, doing Kathina, performing Kathina is the same as doing wholesome deeds. So, to be pure for the mind, need to practice samadhi, concentration, panya, wisdom. I will tell you how to practice samadhi, concentration.
Okay, samadhi
to produce samadhi, concentration, there are 40 ways to practice. Those are meditation objects. Sarah said not only 40 ways, actually 10 kinds of parami. Among 10 kinds of parami, 7 paramis are related to parami, related to concentration. What 7 are except dana, sila, panya. The other things are related to concentration. So these are to produce concentration in the Buddha's teaching. So Sarah said, by practicing metta or Buddha Nusati, trying to make the mind to cool down or to be peaceful, it is a practicing concentration. To be good for the mind, so need to protect the mind. How to protect? Need to practice concentration and panya. So in this way you can protect your mind. So do you know how to protect the mind? The mind is arising because of own self or because of others. Sarah making question. need to know the
စိတ်
mind's
ကကိုယ်ကြောင့်ဖြစ်လား
arising.
သူများကြောင့်ဖြစ်တယ်လားဆိုမေးရမှာနော်
Rising because of others or own self?
မဟုတ်ဘူး
Not because
နော်
of own self, or not because of
စိတ်ဖြစ်
others.
တာသိဖို့လိုတယ်စိတ်ကဘယ်မှာဖြစ်တယ်လဲသိဖို့လိုတယ်
To know where it arising. Where the mind arising is in the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. Why arising is because of object.
ကိုယ်ကြောင့်ဖြစ်တာဆိုတော့ဟုတ်ကလားလို့
Not because of own self, because of object.
ကဲပြီးတော့မှ
So the mind is arising because of object. If we see color, listening, sound, the mind may arise. So the mind is arising because of object. So need to know how to control the mind. If the greed arises in the mind, need to know that, and need to know how to dispel, how to remove. In the same way, dosa arising, moha arising. If so, need to know. Moha is arising, or dosa anger is arising, and need to know how to dispel it. So if we have bad mind, we will speak badly, we will do action badly. So because of this, controlling the mind is important, and will teach you. Because of arising because of object, it is important not to follow the objects. So not to follow the objects, need to keep the mind with mindfulness, concentration, panya. To practice concentration, you need to know how to do. So trying to know the breathing, in breath, out breath. Which is much more having, knowing or not knowing. Sarah asking question. Knowing in time is more, or not knowing in time is more. Answer is not knowing in time is more. To know the breath is important. So how to know the breath? Have to practice sati, mindfulness, not forgetting the breath. Viriya, trying to know. Samadhi is reaching the mind towards breath. So if you practice sati, viriya, samadhi, you will know the breath. So the mind is arising because of object. If object is good, the mind will be good. If the object is not good, the mind will not be good. So because of this, not following the objects is better. So not to follow the object is keeping in the mind towards the breath. So you try to practice to know the breath, like Sarah said, counting method. In breath, out breath, 1. In breath, out breath, 2, 3, 4, 5, until 8. So trying to practice. If you practice in this way, so your mind will not follow different objects, only knowing one object. So first of all, you may not get a very long time to know the breath. So start from 1 minute, 2 minutes, like that, until to get 1 hour, 2 hour, like that. If you are mind knowing the breath 5 minutes, the Buddha's admonishment is existing 5 minutes within you. So the Buddha's admonishment is to be pure for the mind. So if you are knowing the breath 5 minutes, admonishments are existing within you 5 minutes. So shall use another usage. taking inheritance. Taking inheritance. So because the Buddha have practiced these methods and giving instruction to you, so you are inheritor who can accept Buddha's practicing. So that is in Bali we use dayada, inheritor, or taking inheritance. So next, another word that Sayadaw use as doing in sasana, performing in sasana. So sasana is admonishment, the Buddha's instruction. So the Buddha's instruction, if exists within you, you are performing Buddha's instruction, doing Buddha's instruction. The sasana admonishment is existing within you. So main job to do is to know the breath, trying to count from 1 to 8. Only if someone practice sasana can exist. So practicing is important. Just trying to know the breath by counting from 1 to 8. So not forgetting the breath is called sati, mindfulness. Trying to know the breath is viriya, effort. Reaching the mind towards the breath is samadhi, concentration. Knowing the breath is panya. Thinking about the breath is samma sankappa, right thought. So it is to produce concentration. There are other meditation methods to produce concentration, such as asubha, fallenness, kasina. Kasina is like a water kasina, fire kasina, like that. Those are meditation objects. So if someone can, if someone want to practice, it is will not be difficult, like easy. So today you have done dana. So if you think or reflect about the dana which you have done, so it is called chaga no sati. Chaga is generosity, and nu is gananga. Sati is remembering. So remembering gananga about the generosity. So you have done dana, you reflect gananga. If so, it is a kind of practicing. It's called chaga no sati. So focusing dana which you have done is sati. Remembering dana which you have done is sati. Trying to remember is viriya, effort. Reaching in the mind towards dana which you have done is samadhi, concentration. So if you have a concentration, the Buddha's admonishment, concentration, is existing within you. That person is doing in sasana or performing in sasana. So in the same way, you have observed sila. So trying to observe sila purely. After that, trying to reflect, trying to remember, I'm pure, like I'm not killing, not stealing, not telling lie. So if you are remembering about the sila, it is practicing sila no sati, a kind of meditation method. Sila is a sila, morality, and nu is a gananga. Sati is remembering. So remembering sila, gananga. Just you need to do, but the methods are not so difficult if you have learned. So now, Sayadaw said, I have taught how to practice. So, which is important to know how to practice and to perform as an action, which is important. Sarah said both. You never correct. Just knowing, not practicing, will not reach the target. Not knowing, but practicing also will not reach target. Must know, must practice. So if we know, if we practice, it is doing sasana, performing admonishment in the mind. So the Buddha's admonishment is do be good, but need to stay properly according to Buddha's admonishment. If don't stay properly according to Buddha's admonishment, so our actions will not be good. If our action is not good, we'll reach full woeful state. So whoever reach in the full woeful state is because of bad bodily, verbal, and mental action. So if we don't do evil things, we will not reborn in the woeful state. If so, it is protecting own self, not to reborn in the woeful state. So if we protect own self, we will get wholesomeness. We will have a good deed. We will produce good actions. So because of these good actions, according to Buddha's teaching, we were reborn in the human, Deva, and the Brahma realm. Why we have to reborn? Because of good deed of bodily, verbal, and mental action. So we should have confidence of faith, called in Bali, Saddha. So confidence or faith is believing karma and karma result. If we do bad deeds, we have a bad result. If we do good deeds, we have a good result. Such a believing is called Saddha, confidence. Another name is Kammasakata Samadhi, right view of the state of karma, thinking as a own property. In Bali, it is called Kammasakata Samadhi. Based on faith, based on Kammasakata Samadhi, so we need to practice. Sarah said quite wider ways, not just focusing one kind of method. So example is by seeing beings, even people or animals, you can practice metta. Like that, may you be happy, may he be happy, may he be free from danger. So if you practice in this way, you will have a good mind. Like that, you have done dana, you try to remember those donations. So it is called chakanosati, like that. So briefly, Sama repeat to make sure his audience. So briefly is like taking object with a good attitude, how to think. So one of a good object you should take. So you practice, you make your mind to be pure. So it is the way of practicing concentration. So Sarah trying to stop explanation about the concentration. So want to tell about the panya. So Sarah said panya is also important to practice. So Sarah conclude the previous one. So by practicing sila, we can control bodily and verbal action to be good. By practicing concentration, we can control our mind to be proper. So, to practice concentration, there are 40 methods. Those are meditation objects. So after that, there move panya. Panya is panya practicing is so knowing materiality and mentality. It is panya practicing. So the Buddha's sasana, the Buddha's admonishment is sila sasana, admonishment of sila, to be good about the body and speech. Samadhi sasana, admonishment of concentration, to be good for the mind. Panya sasana, admonishment of wisdom. It is also for the mind. So wisdom is to know materiality and mentality. So it is a 3-step. So according to 7 step, you may have learned like a Sila Visuddhi or Chaita Visuddhi, 7 kinds of purification. So Samadhi is Chaita Visuddhi, purification of mind. Panya is Deity Visuddhi, the purification of view. The purification of view is knowing the truth. How to know that truth? So in the 31 realm, everything in the 31 realm are of materiality, mentality. Not me, no others, no man or woman, just knowing as a materiality, mentality. If you know that that is a purification of a view, or it is a panya, wisdom practicing. So learning knowledge is, we say, knowing or perception, knowing by perception, knowing by sanya. So because of this, I need to learn what is a materiality, what is a mentality. So materiality, there are 28 kinds of materiality to learn. So if we know materiality, we will not attachment towards materiality. If we know mentality, we will not attach to mentality. So panya is knowing materiality, mentality. Everything in the 31 realm is of just materiality, mentality. It is dukkha satya, the truth of suffering. So if we haven't learned that, we will not know very detailed, but something we can see about the truth of suffering. Jadi. Jadi is rebirth. Rebirth is suffering. We can know that we can know. Rebirth is suffering. In the same way, jara, aging, aging in life is suffering. Vyadi, sickness, is suffering. Marana, death is suffering. Soka, worry is suffering. Prideva, limitation is suffering. Dukkha, bodily pain. Domanassa, mental pain. Upayasa, despair. Despair is also suffering. So it is a true. It is a truth. So trying to practice to know the truth. So if we know the truth or suffering, we will have a samvega. Samvega is a kind of fear with the knowledge. If we have a samvega, we will reach nibbana. So to know very detailed, it may not be easy, but anyway, we can try something we can know. Something we can know, like jadi, rebirth, aging, death, those things we can know. So although we can know if we don't do, we don't practice, or we don't try to remember that Gananga, the same as like not knowing. So just listening or just hearing, it is not enough. It is we call knowing by perception. Like everybody may say, I know death, I know sickness. Such kind of knowing is knowing by perception, something lower status. So trying to be knowing by wisdom. So do we like this? Need to think Gananga, need to remember Gananga. So rebirth is suffering, sickness is suffering, death is suffering. In this way, need to think, need to reflect Gananga. If we know 31 realms, any realms as a suffering, we will not have a desire to be reborn in those realms. So Sarah said, it is not difficult. What is difficult is not doing is difficult. Not practicing is difficult. So if we don't know as a suffering, it is the cause of suffering. So if even Bodhisattva, without knowing, like an older person, sick person, he will not go to renunciation. Because of knowing sickness, knowing death, he do renunciation, something like that. So because of going to renunciation, finally he can be free from suffering. So if we don't know suffering, we will not free from suffering. So if we know suffering, we will be free from suffering. So trying to know suffering. So if we know suffering, our mind is associated with the knowledge. So whenever we know as a suffering, our mind is with the knowledge, not without knowledge. So the beginning practicing of wisdom is 4 elements. Sarah recited Bali from the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Means in this body there are Patavi Dhatu, earth element, Abo Dhatu, water element, Vayo Dhatu, wind element, Tejo Dhatu, fire element. So according to existing means our body is sometimes sitting, sometimes standing, lying down, walking. According to existing, according to keeping our body in this way or that way, think, reflect as a elements, other elements, water element, wind element, fire element. It is called 4 element practicing. In this body, there is Patavi Dhatu, earth element. Other element means you see the earth. In the earth have hardness. So in the same way, our body have that element, hardness. You touch bone to bone, you can feel hardness. You try to know hardness. If you know hardness in one place, it is possible to know the whole body as a hardness. So you should not see as usual, you are perception. You should see with your knowledge. Means we think this body is my body or hand, leg, like that. Usually seeing in this way, according to our perception. But it is not reality. So reality is just the element, hardness. So you're trying to see hardness in this body. So the whole body as a other element. Another element is water element. Water is something liquid, like a saliva, urine, like that. Those are much water elements. Even in the bone have that water element. So you should see as a water element. After seeing other elements, there is a water element in the body. So trying to know the reality. If you know reality, you will know unreality or artificials. Normally, if we don't practice, we are knowing artificials according to our perception, not reality. So knowing as a earth element, water element is knowing in truth, knowing in reality. Once we know reality, we will know what is not reality, what is artificial. So in your mind, which time is much more, knowing reality or knowing artificials? So Sarah making question, which time is much more, knowing reality or knowing artificials? Artificials, yeah, like that. So next one is a wind element. Wind element is spotting, pushing, like we move our hand, we sit. Because of wind, we can sit. It is a wind element. So because of element, we can do. If something broken about the wind, or destroying wind, we will fall down like that. So something pushing or movement, supporting the body, all these to reflect as a wind element. So next one is a fire element. Fire element is one of a temperature. You may say cold, you may say hot. Based on your perspective, maybe may say cold or may say heat. Anyway, it is one of a temperature. So about that, you should reflect as a fire element, which is a reality, no perception. So you need to change perception to reality. Normally, before learning, just we have a perception. Our mind never approach as a reality. So trying to know as a reality. So how to know? To know reality, what we need, what kind of factor in mind we need is sati, mindfulness. Need to be mindful, need to be remember that. Instead of remembering this is my body or he or she, like that. Trying to remember as a other element, water element, fire element, wind element. It is called sati, mindfulness or remembrance. Next one is trying to know. So if we stay lazily, we will not know. We are trying to know that. That trying is called vayama, sama vayama, right effort. So trying to reach the mind towards elements. It is a concentration. Trying to have such a view, just have elements, not me, not mine, not my body, something like that. It is a right view. So if you think about the elements, it is a sammasankappa, right thought. So you need to do again and again about the 4 elements. If you do that, later you will see like a smoke. The body become like a smoke because your knowledge is more and more sharp, can penetrate more and more. So first of all, we'll see like a smoke. Later we'll change like a transparent, like a glasses, something like that, or ice block. Transparency. So if you continue to practice, will be small particles, very small particles. The body may change as a small pieces. Why change is because of your knowledge. Your knowledge can penetrate the body because of right mindfulness, right effort, right concentration, right view, and right thoughts. Knowledge more and more sharp, or sharper and sharper, can penetrate. The body may not be as a block, will be as a small particles. Even in the small particles, you need to continue to see 4 elements. So at that time, your knowledge becomes sharper. Everything, furthermore learning 28 rupas will be easier to learn. If we know 4 elements, our mind is a wholesome mind associated with the knowledge. So if we know as a small particles, as a 4 elements, we will not adhere to the body as a hand or leg, as a man or woman, like that. And so everything, living or non-living beings, non-living things, all are 4 elements. We will know in this way as a 4 elements. So it is a knowing materiality. So after knowing 4 elements, we can continue upada rupas. So first of all, trying to know 4 elements in every small particles, even in small things, trying to know 4 elements. So in the beginning, we trying to know the whole body as a 4 elements. Finally become small particles, trying to know as a 4 elements. So after knowing 4 elements in the small particles, we will know upada rupas. Upada rupas are rupas dependent on 4 elements. That is number 1 is a kala. Sarah said kala. So the color of 4 elements, usually it impinge to the eye. It is a color. So at that time, the meditator may see color of 4 elements. After that, Sarah said oja. Oja is a nutriment. In that small particles, there is a nutriment. There is energy. So if we eat meat, the meat produces energy in our body. That element we call oja. Jivita, in the body there is a jivita, life faculty. Life faculty means protecting our body, especially protecting karma-born materialities. You can see our body is different from dead body. Dead body not have a jivita, life faculty. Our flesh is like alive. So it is because of jivita, life faculty. So also you will see chakku pasada, eye sensitivity or eye translucency. It is into the eye. So after seeing 4 elements, small particles into the eye, you can see the other rupa, translucency or translucence of eye or eye translucency. So there are 2 characteristics of the eye translucency. One thing is it is transparent. Transparent of what? Transparent of 4 elements. If we see particles, some are transparent, some are not transparent. Transparent meaning is like glasses. Not transparent means like these cups cannot see through like that. So that is one characteristics. Another characteristics is eye translucency is able to be impinged by kala. If we see kala impinge our eye. So because of that impingement by the kala, we can know it is eye translucency. In the same way, into the ear, something you can know sota basada. Sota basada means ear translucency. Ear translucency. There is a 2 nature to know that. One thing is, once you see, it is transparent, can see through, not like the other small particles. It is one mark, one signs. Another sign is it is be able to be impinged by sound. If there is a sound, the sound will impinge that ear translucency. So because of this, if there is a noisy, very big sound, we have to cover our ear not to impinge. So by seeing impingement by sound, we can know that it is ear translucency. In the same way, nose translucency impinged by smell, tongue translucency impinged by taste, body translucency impinged by touching. So in this way, you need to discern one after another. You need to find one after another. There are 28 kinds of rupa. So just a list or just numbers, I will say 0 set like that. So something explained, something just saying just numbers. So after knowing those eye, ear, nose, tongue, body translucency, you can move to know the mentalities, because you have known eye translucency. If so, when the color impinge into the eye, you will have eye consciousness, knowing the color. Like that, you wait from the eye translucency, waiting, trying to impinge color. When the color impinge into the eye, you will have eye consciousness. In the same way, wait from the ear, the sound impinge ear translucency, hearing mind or ear consciousness will arise at that time. In this way, you can know eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness, mind or the consciousness in the mind. So first of all, trying to discern materiality. Second, trying to discern mentality. After discerning in this way, you should note there are just materialities, mentalities in this body. So everything in the world, everybody in the world, composed of just materiality, mentality. So knowing in this way is samadhi, right view. Knowing as a man or woman or me or others, it is a wrong view, like that. If we have a right view, knowing as a materiality, mentality, if so, we may not have attachment to the body. We may not adhere to the body. So it is knowing suffering as a ultimate reality. It is like a final stage. The Buddha wants his disciple to know. Before that, knowing as a rebirth is a suffering, aging is a suffering, is something, it is a beginning stage. It is important, it is also can reduce defilements. It is also a kind of knowledge, but like a very superficial situation, or I can say it is a beginning. So final stage, the Buddha wants his disciple to know is ultimate stage, knowing in this way. So knowing as a materiality, mentality is knowing the truth of suffering. So why suffering arise? Need to find out why those mentality, materiality arise, because of own self or because of others. Shall I make a question? Because of own self or because of anyone else? Both. So Sarah said no, because of both. And this Yeah. Because of avijja, not knowing truth, avijja, ignorance. Because of ignorance, arises that. So if we don't know as a reality, we may have attachment. Attachment is a craving. Because of craving, suffering arises. If we have a craving, we may adhere to that. We may cling into that. It is upadana. Because of upadana, those are arise. So based on upadana, clinging, we will do actions. So whenever we do actions, if it is good, become good deed. If it is bad, become bad deeds. It is a karma. So means the cause of suffering is ignorance, not knowing truly, craving, dana, clinging, upadana. Based on upadana, we do actions become good and bad. It is a bad deed or good deed. It is a karma. So these are the causes of suffering. So based on good deeds, we were reborn 27 realms. 27 realms is one human, 6 devas, 20 brahmas. So based on bad deed, we were reborn in the woeful state. Reborn means having materiality and mentality. Why it arises? Because of karma. Why becoming karma? Because of clinging, craving, not knowing truly, like that. So jnana samadhi, right view, right knowledge means knowing the causes and knowing the effect. Even it is a causes or effect, we need to know as a suffering. So should not attach to the cause, should not attach to the effect, only to reflect as a suffering cause about the cause and effect. So if we don't have such knowledge, we may attach to the cause, or that is my good deed, my kusala, or we may attach to the result, and we're reborn in the deva realm or human realm, like that. So if we have attachment, whatever we do, everything will be the causes of suffering, the causes of life, the causes of suffering. Even in parami will not happen. So without knowledge, even in parami will not happen. Parami means good deed, but destined towards nibbana. So we should have such knowledge, thinking as a suffering. We need to do good deed, bad deed, but we should not attach to the life. That is my good deed. I am reborn in good destination, like that. So if attached to that, we will be happy in that life. If so, we were not trying to find free from that life. Like that, because of this, CRO focus to show, to think as a suffering, to have wisdom, which is important to fulfill parami. So if we don't have such knowledge, whatever we do, actions, everything will be the cause of suffering. In the world, or in the worldly life, only have dukkha satya, truth of suffering, samudaya satya, the truth of the origin of suffering. So although the Buddha appear or not appear, we have these two things, suffering or the cause of suffering. But when the Buddha appears, we have chance to know as a suffering or the cause of suffering. So if we know it is a suffering, it is the cause of suffering, that knowing is a wholesome deed associated with the knowledge. So because of knowing this is a suffering, this is the origin of suffering, we will not do the cause of suffering. What is the cause of suffering? Not knowing. Avijja, not knowing. So, not knowing is the cause of suffering. So, means we should know, we should always reflect as a suffering or the cause of suffering. That is the opportunity of appearance of the Buddha. So, if we know as a suffering, we will not want life. We will not attach to the life. Because of this, it is important to know as a suffering. So, Sarah asked a question, when trying to know? When will you try? Like that. If you are knowing, it is going towards Nibbana. So, whenever we reflect, whenever we trying to know as a suffering or the cause of suffering, it is going towards Nibbana. So, if we don't know that as a suffering, the cause of suffering, we are going in different ways from the Nibbana. So, the Buddha appear in the world to know those truths. Buddha means who know the Four Noble Truths. Another meaning is who calls his disciple to know the truth. So, if we know the truth, that is the chance of appearance of the Buddha. So, if we know, if we are knowing, we are dispelling or removing avijja, not knowing. So, once we know as a suffering, we remove avijja. We remove avijja. So, if we know that as a suffering, that is also samadhi right view. If we know the cause of suffering, it is also samadhi right view. So another is knowing the Nibbana, which has no suffering, no the cause of suffering. It means Nibbana. Knowing Nibbana also, it is a samadhi right view. So first of all, we try to know as a suffering, the cause of suffering. If so, finally, our mind will reach towards the Nibbana. We can take Nibbana as an object. That is also samadhi right view. So another one is knowing the cause of the cessation of suffering, also samadhi. What is the way? What is the practicing to reach Nibbana? It is a Four Noble Path. Mainly, if we know as a suffering, that is a knowledge, a samadhi, that thinking is a sama sankappa right view, and that effort trying to know, it is a right effort, etc. So those are a Four Noble Path. So need to develop again and again. So Sarah encourage to make efforts to know as a suffering, the cause of suffering. So today we have done Kathina ceremony as a good deed. Because of that good deed will produce human and deva life. So, do you want to get? So, yeah, if we know we have knowledge, we may not like those lives. You will not want that life. It is good. It is destined towards the Nibbana. So, because of this, we have to do Nibbana Sapacaya Hotu. We cannot want, we cannot have desire to be reborn, human and deva. Yeah, Kathina is mainly donations directly will produce human and deva. That we cannot avoid, but it is not our main goal, main target. So we understand that because of those teaching, those are suffering and the cause of suffering. because of this, we have to wish Nibbana Sapachyo Hodu. This merit be supporting cause for the Nibbana. So that is one of practicing to lead Nibbana. May say it is a very beginning, very important job leading into Nibbana. So if we don't have such knowledge, thinking as a suffering, the cause of suffering, we may want to get human life, Deva life with many sensualities like that. So because of those teaching, we don't want, we always say Nibbana Sapachyo Hodu. So doing in dana the same, just doing in dana no mean going into Nibbana. You must do dana with knowledge. What is knowledge? Knowing as a suffering and the cause of suffering. If so, doing in dana is leading into Nibbana. In the same way, practicing morality. Just practicing morality without any knowledge, thinking as a suffering, it may not lead to Nibbana, only may lead a good life. So, need to do sila with the knowledge, knowing as a suffering, the cause of suffering. In the same way, bhavana, practicing bhavana. Just practicing bhavana, especially like jhanas, without having any knowledge, thinking as a suffering, may lead a Brahma life, may not lead Nibbana. So, but because of those teaching with the knowledge, if we practice bhavana, it also, for that also we may wish Nibbana Sapachyo Hodu. If so, bhavana also leading into Nibbana. So that is a conclusion. So knowledge is important. Without knowledge, although we do dana, sila, bhavana, may not lead Nibbana. So understanding about the life as a suffering, the cause of suffering, only with this knowledge, whatever we do, dana, sila or bhavana, whenever we are knowing as a suffering, it is leading into Nibbana. So Sarah wish, may you be able to fulfill parami to go to Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sarah said a few things. Nu modana, nu is a kananka. Modana is being glad or gladness. So we have done dana, sila, bhavana. So you need to remember that. You need to be glad. Only those things will be our shelter, will make our life to be sure. So those are our protectors. Even going to Nibbana or going into life, those dana, sila, bhavana always need. So because of that, by fulfilling dana, sila, bhavana every day, every time, you may be able to go until Nibbana.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.